And I really believe in it. So I think in data science, people should help each other.
Okay, so let me start the event today. And I'm gonna present quickly about who we are, what we offer, then I'll turn the stage to you.
Yes, that sounds good.
Sounds good, awesome. So let me start sharing screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Awesome. So let me into the full presenting mode. So everyone, welcome to our event. My name is Vivian Zhang. I'm the founder of NYC Data Science Academy. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to our event today. So I want to give you a brief information about who we are. And if you have thoughts and anything you'd like to share, you can go to chat and choose all panelists and attendee to share your thoughts. Okay, about the school. So we established the school in November 2013. So it's our 8th year in the business. We're thrilled we have the opportunity to serve so many students in the past. In the last 8 years, we educated and helped over 2,000 alumni working now across the globe. So sometimes you might see our alumni from Netherlands, from Hong Kong are joining the events. Okay. Our main offering is the data science bootcamps and our professional development course. So we're the only bootcamp teach both Python and R. And in the end, over the course of the bootcamp, we support students to do 4 industry projects to demonstrate their skill in the field. We offer lifetime job support. Our career service advisor Courtney is in today's event, so welcome her. And if you have any question about job placement, feel free to reach out to Courtney. Courtney, would you mind say hi in the chat?
Hi everyone. Nice to see everybody here. I see some familiar faces, but I will put my email in the chat if you feel free, and feel free to reach out to me if you need any assistance as far as career services, and I'll definitely respond to you and help you out.
Thank you so much. And we, since 2015, we have been rated for the best data science bootcamp 5 years in a row. And we started to offer online program about 2 years ago, and we also ranked for the best online bootcamp. So you can find a lot about our student experience online. And if you are interested in career transition or enhance your data science skill, we offer different mode of delivery. If you can join full-time, we offer remote and live bootcamp. So we plan to go back to campus on July 1st. So next cohort will be a mix of in-person and remote live. This is the full-time program. If you're working professional, we offer 4 months and 6 months option. Basically, you can work and taking the bootcamp at the same time. And our admission process is pretty straightforward. You submit the application. We have a behavioral interview round. We have a tech assessment interview round. So typically this process takes a week. And right now we're offering early bird discount, which will expire on June 18. And if you have any question, this is email, you can reach out to us. I'm also gonna put this in the chat. Okay, that's our brief information. Any question before I turn this floor back to Peter? Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us today. Peter, your turn.
Yeah, thanks, Vivian. Hi, everyone. My name is Peter Tsyurmasto, and I'm a data scientist at KPMG Digital Lighthouse. About myself, I graduated from Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology. I have a background in applied mathematics and physics. Then I came to US and studied Ph.D. in operations research. And I worked for 5 years in the financial industry, mostly on buy side as a quant researcher. And about 2 years ago, I decided to switch career into data science. Maybe this is something that you're also looking to do now. So hopefully my presentation will help. So for that reason, I decided to take NYC Data Science Academy Bootcamp in summer 2019. And looking back, it was one of the best decisions. It provided me with the skill set needed to make transition into data science and to be successful at KPMG Lighthouse. So the objective of today's presentation is to introduce KPMG Digital Lighthouse and the opportunities that we offer. So Digital Lighthouse is the KPMG's Center of Excellence for data analytics and AI. It consists of professionals having different technical ability, technical skills, as well as subject matter experts, domain knowledge experts within the KPMG. So because KPMG is a large consulting firm, there are many subject matter experts across different area and domain expertise. So we collaborate with them to help leverage data analytics and help help clients to transition into basically do a digital transformation of their businesses. We have over 1,200 professionals globally, excuse me, and 600 in US. KPMG Digital Lighthouse is very similar to startup, so it's very dynamic, very collaborative, and there is like a lot of exchange of ideas and knowledge sharing. So very good environment for someone to grow. So and the objective of the objective of Digital Lighthouse is to actually like leverage KPMG's expertise as a Big Four consulting firm, and combined with the technical expertise of Lighthouse professionals. So we have 7 main what's called digital guilds or skill communities, and every Digital Lighthouse professional can join one or multiple guilds to learn about the new skill, and if they have enough knowledge about the particular area, they can get staffed to the project. So let me just quickly go over them. So the first one is called Conversational AI. It focuses on building chatbots and conversational systems. We saw quite a lot of growth and interest from client over the last couple of years, and KPMG is actually very interested in hiring professional in conversational AI and natural language processing because we see a lot of potential in the next few years. And starting from this year, we're encouraged to take trainings in those large conversational AI platforms such as Google Dialogflow, Amazon Alexa, IBM Watson. So this is a very exciting area, and I'm actually looking to start working this summer in this area. So the second guild is called Graph Intelligence. I didn't have a lot of interaction with them, but as far as I know, it leverages connected data and graph technologies to help clients better understand their data and make the right decisions on that. The first guild is a community of professional statisticians. It's called Statistical Modeling. So it uses different statistical methodologies to do predictive, diagnostic, and prescriptive analysis on the data. So the fourth community is called Simulation and Digital Guild. So it's an interesting name, and I can explain why it's called this way. So what they do simulations like Monte Carlo simulation, for example, of large systems to help clients better understand if something is very complex, to simplify, streamline it, and also kind of like help visualize and make important decisions about this data. So it's a community of professional operations research specialists who are focusing on optimization, such as routing, scheduling, and so on, different optimization problems. The fourth guild is natural language processing, and this is something that I worked the most. So with NLP, we use different NLP techniques to extract information from large volumes of unstructured data. And I can bring up one particular use case is, so right now, a lot of financial institutions find that they have a lot of legal documents that need to be processed to determine what actually needs to be done about them. And what we do, so we use NLP to extract these legal terms, and we collaborate with subject matter experts within KPMG who basically provide us with all the knowledge, like legal knowledge that we need to know. Yeah, so this is natural language processing, and then the next one is intelligent forecasting. So what it does, it leverages a proprietary KPMG signals repository database that has zip code level data about, like economic conditions. So for example, last year we leveraged a lot of COVID data to help actually understand businesses, like their financial metrics, how they're impacted by this data. And we did quite a lot of analysis last year about, helping understand like which locations actually need to open first based on COVID and economic data. So
I have a quick question. Do you have slides to share? Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, sorry. I actually, I thought I was sharing it.
No worries. Please go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just
click on the share screen. Yeah. You can share the whole screen just in case you interchange between Stack or website.
Yeah, just a moment.
Sounds good.
Yeah, actually, I don't use Zoom a lot, so that's why. One moment. How do you share screen?
There is a button called share screen, and you can pick the very first one, share the whole screen. Otherwise, it's going to pick. Awesome, it's coming up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me know if you can see it now. Yeah. So very sorry about that. One moment.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let me just make a full screen.
Yeah.
And now you can actually see. How can I? Yeah. So as you can see, all of these guilds like over here. So intelligent forecasting is here, and then the last one is called pattern and anomaly detection. So we look at large volumes of transaction data, so usually in terabytes, to identify like some anomaly or like fraudulent, potentially fraudulent transaction or like instances of market abuse using machine learning. Yeah, so about all the skills community is that, everyone who joins Lighthouse, they can join one of those guilds, something that they have background in. But also the really nice thing about Lighthouse is that you can always start learning about new things, and you start from just taking trainings and like monthly meetings, and you're going to be assigned trainings, and based on this you're going to get a badge, and there is like a basic and there is advanced badge. Once you get a basic badge, you can like participate in some project. Once you get advanced, you can like fully participate in all projects. So that's just a nice environment where you can learn, grow, and get stuff on projects. And actually, before we go, just to mention that, so this describes like our community in terms of skills, but all of the skills are used in different industries, because KPMG is a Big Four company, and it has a lot of, it has strong presence in the marketplace. So that's why we work across many different industries. Just to mention a few: financial services, we work a lot with government and healthcare, transportation, technology, energy, and so on. So very strong presence in the market. So now let me describe what it is to work for Lighthouse. So I've been with Lighthouse for about 1.5 years, and so far I can say that for someone who starts their data science journey, it's a great company to work for because there are so many. There is so much exposure to different range of projects and industries. There are great learning techniques. Like for example, for learning, we get 3 weeks of paid time where we can take courses. So there are some internal resources like NLP, Machine Learning Statistical Academy. There is also something called Advisory Academy. This is where you can practice your, your communication, presentation skills, learn how to interact with clients. And actually, like every year you can go. We have a location in Florida, I think in Orlando, where you go there. It's sort of like a hotel. So you network there. It's all paid by KPMG, and then you take classes and you learn stuff, and you practice your skills there. So that's just a nice perk to have. And then within these 3 weeks that are given to you, you can take cloud certifications. So we're encouraged to take cloud certifications, and we have a budget, I think about $3,000 to spend on to upskill. So this is a very open environment. This is something that I noticed because I came from financial industry where people are very protective about their ideas. And when I came here, so I saw such an open environment where people freely share their experiences and their knowledge. And at any point in time, you can take like all these 600 professionals, and you can ping someone in Teams, and if you want to learn something, jump on a call. So it's very easy, and there is a very strong sense of community. So we have our community meetings every month where we present some papers that we found or some new technologies that we use. So it's just an environment where you can grow a lot. And this is on top of great KPMG culture. So this culture of diversity and inclusion. As you may know, KPMG is ranked within 50 best companies to work for. And then the last but not least is that in general, consulting experience is greatly valued because you have basically exposure to so many industries and different projects, as well as you learn the consulting skills, which is also a great thing to have. So now I want to briefly mention on a few things that I worked on over 1.5 years, just to give you an idea of the projects that we work on. So I mostly focused on natural language processing and machine learning. So for natural language processing, there is it's a very hot area where there's a large demand for applying NLP techniques to parse like large volumes of financial documents and like automate the process. So like, for example, one of the use cases that I'm working on right now is automating background screening for banks, where essentially they manually put, there's something called rap sheets. So they put all this information manually. And so currently I'm developing code in Python that extracts all of the information such as arrests, court dispositions, sentences and so on, and then we're going to put it into the database. So a lot about automation of processes, and we see that this area is going to continue growing. And just to mention another interesting project I worked on, so it's related to concept of ESG, or environmental social governance. So that this is a very hot topic now, and there is a demand on for example, from financial industry, from asset management, to look for particular financial instruments that have exposure to ESG, and that's why we look at financial documents to extract, what financial entities are mentioned that and what are their respective roles. And this is done using Spacey NAR. So we're just finalizing the methodology for that. And for the machine learning, so I can mention a couple of projects. One is predicting success of the movie at the box office using social media data. This is a project that we did for one of large movie producers. So we used their YouTube channel to download trailers, and then we looked at some structured data, and also we looked for comments and sentiment of comments to determine how well it predicts the success at the box office. Yeah, and another project I had in a collaboration with risk consultants is identity and access management, where we look at patterns around a particular group of HR group of users, and risks, if there are some particular risks associated with this group of users. So now I'll mention a bit about what we look for in candidates. So for data scientists, we look for strong experience in machine learning, statistical analysis, NLP, and hands-on skills in coding. So then data and analytics modeler, it's also data scientist, but it's more hybrid role with data consultant. So this is someone who will be hands-on with modeling, but also will be able to interact with the client to gather requirements, to understand client needs, and so on. So then digital consultant is basically like a pure consulting role, where essentially you'll be interacting with clients to collect data, to understand their needs, but as well you would need to understand on a high level advanced analytics methods. So then we have data engineers and cloud engineers. So for data engineers, this is mostly SQL and ETL skills. And for cloud developers, it's how well you know the cloud platforms, and can you help client to deliver custom application on cloud using on-prem or like different cloud platforms. And then we also have big data software engineer. So this is basically like a pure software engineer role. And we look for things like experience with distributed technologies, ability to write production level code, and so essentially take something that is prototyped and actually put it in a production level. Yeah, so this is it. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I share a couple of links here. So this link is for that describes all the different roles that we have, and also if you're interested to apply, please feel free to send me your resume, and I will submit it internally. Yeah, thank you for your attention, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Peter, I have a few questions.
Yeah, of course.
So I noticed a trend: the big four accounting firm become bigger role in the analytic consulting industry. Did you see a direct competition with them?
Yeah, so I know that pretty much every big four company has their own center of excellence. And I think that the reason for that is that they have a like, you know, it's basically backed by a big consulting firm, and there is this kind of potential source of collaboration between you know, different domain experts and you know, data scientists. So actually there is a very strong demand for data analytics, and that's why you know, those centers of excellence are built within consulting firms. And it seems that it was a great idea because it is actually it's growing a lot. So I mean, this company was this group was formed in, I think, 2013 or 2014, and it has a tremendous growth. So it grew to like over 1,200 professionals now, and we're continuing hiring. And actually, like right now, there is so much demand that actually we have very aggressive hiring targets because we just don't have enough people. There are so many opportunities. So yeah, so that's why I see that it's going to continue like this. So this digital transformation trend, and the good thing about big consulting firms that they have access to all of this range of industries and projects, and this is definitely helpful.
I see. We did notice that we have 3 students get hired by Deloitte Digital in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They are all joining the same team. In 2 weeks, 3 alumni joined them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I needed to kind of get them to KPMG side, but I'll make sure after this presentation, we're gonna try to hire as many Data Science Academy alumni.
I see. So how do you compare the competition with traditional consulting firm like Boston Consulting Group, McKinsey? Are you guys covering the same domain or no?
So I don't have a lot of knowledge of what this McKinsey and BCG is doing, but we have some competitive advantages. Just to name a couple, one of them, we have a platform called Ignite. So it basically puts together the latest advances in natural language processing and kind of like package them together as a solution. And we've seen like a very, very strong pipeline with Ignite. So this system is called Ignite. And actually we just recently got a patent on Ignite. So this is definitely a competitive advantage. So also we have something called Signals Repository that we built basically to do predictive analytics for companies using kind of like a location data and you know, different you know, company data. So this is another thing that we see a lot of demand from clients, and you know, it's definitely like a strong product that we built.
I see. So the type of project you're taking on, are they more like strategic level? Like, should we tackle a certain market? Should they acquire a certain company, or it's more like implementation level?
So it's interesting that so most of the projects are coming from interaction with like internal domain experts. So they would like work like in a particular area. Like for example, it could be like specialists in legal, like you know, working with financial documents, and then they have some needs in data analytics, and they will go to us and ask if we have capabilities about that. But also it's very kind of like startup-like environment where actually everyone is encouraged to sell. So we you know, we go out and you know, like together with partners and managing directors, you know, we go and basically like we present the current innovations that we developed, and you know, very quickly get the feedback if there's something that is interesting for clients. So basically both, but I would say like most of our projects are coming from domain knowledge experts within KPMG.
So your clients is more like internal employees project.
So it's essentially like it's external clients, but But the relationship is typically developed through like those domain experts.
I see. Is that like the corporate structure is more like you have a lot of domain expert team and you are the centralized data science team supporting those domain knowledge team?
Yes, very similar to that. Yeah.
How big is your team?
So in total, we have 1,200 professionals globally and 600 located in US.
In your team?
It's interesting with consulting. There is not such a thing as a team. So the team is 1,200 professionals. This is the team, right? So I was talking about the sense of community, right? Because like you're not really in a siloed environment. You are free to reach out to anyone. You develop your own brand within KPMG. You network with other people. And there are skill communities where you can learn and you can get skilled in certain areas. And then once you have skills, you can get staffed on the projects. So that's why, and you know, believe it or not, I don't even have a manager. There is something called performance management leader. This is someone who is responsible for your career to make sure that you have a good career at KPMG, that you develop and progress. But it's not like someone is managing me. So it's very startup-like environment where, like, you know, you have a lot of freedom, flexibility. Like you work on projects that you like. If you don't like something, you work on something else. So that's why I'm saying that for someone who just starts with data science, it's such a great opportunity.
So through my own conversation with our student working in consulting, like the more experience they get, the more they can sense what kind of projects they can get more credit for performance evaluation. Do you have the same sense? Like people fight for more innovative projects to get better evaluation? How does that work internally for performance evaluation?
So, you know, performance and evaluation is not a concern at all. I mean, if you're interested, if you're willing to grow, if you responsible about your work, you know, typically you good. I mean, the way we're measured is on utilization. So utilization is basically the percentage of time that were put on client projects or on innovation projects. That's kind of a main metric. But also, you know, for every engagement you get a feedback, and this feedback is not kind of designed to like kind of to bring you down, right? So it's more like those are things that you need to grow in. Those are things you are strong, right? And you know, as long as you don't, I mean, as long as you are responsible and you're doing your job, you should be good. So in terms of projects, I mean, there's always kind of there are some maybe like more interesting projects. There are like a little bit less interesting. But what's interesting is that like different people find different things interesting. Like someone who wants to build their soft skills would focus on like management consulting, more kind of like interacting with clients, and not a lot of like technical skills. And then someone would like who really wants to be very technical could go like toward more toward like software engineering. But for example, I joined as a data analytics modeler. In about a month's time, I took a training in natural language processing, which actually required a lot more hands-on experience in Python. So I took the training. So I went to Toronto. I took a training there. I came back and I immediately got staffed to NLP. So it's very straightforward. Once you have skills, you network. You know, like there are those like monthly community meetings where like different opportunities are presented. You can right away write to the like leadership of this guild. Oh, I want to learn this. You know, I don't have these skills. Can you help me? So it's very like everyone is trying to help everyone. So it's essentially to get better. So in that sense, I mean, I see, because there is such a variety of opportunities, there is always something that you can find for yourself.
That's awesome. I want to take some questions from the audience. Karen put some questions here, so I'm gonna repeat what she said in the chat. Karen is asking, what does the interview process look like for KPMG?
Yeah, so if it's a like a skilled professional with years of experience, typically you start with like 2 phone screens. So then you prepare, I think, about 20 minutes presentation. So you will be evaluate on how well you present, and then you have, I think, 3 technical interviews. This is on site, but currently everything is done online. And if we're talking about campus graduate, so then it's I I don't think we have any phone screening for campus graduates. So it's just basically 2 technical interviews.
So either 1 phone interview plus 3 technical interview or 2 technical interview.
Yeah. So when someone is already experienced with professional, it's a bit more like we look at like more presentation skills, and there is a little bit more of interviewing. Yeah.
I see. Next question, also from Karen. What is the KPMG looking for in a candidate?
Yeah, so it's a good question. First of all, KPMG is a consulting firm, so it's very important to understand that. So that's why they look for those consulting skills, because you're gonna spend a lot of time interacting with clients, trying to understand their data, formulate the problem. So consulting skills, this is something we look at, and the technical skills really depend on the role, and I think I described in general like what we look for, but just in general, like understanding big picture, to be able to describe the problem well, to be able to explain things in simple terms. This is basically in addition to technical skills.
Do you feel the bootcamp knowledge prepare you fully for this kind of role?
Absolutely. I really think that NYC Data Science Academy provides a strong foundation. I actually interviewed some alumni recently, and I noticed that good skills, very good skills, and like good portfolio of projects. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. So another question is, what KPMG looking for from a candidate if they are interviewing for data engineer, and how much experience they are looking for from the candidate?
Yeah, so if it's a campus graduate, so I mean, ideally to have some internship experience, but if not, it could be some projects done within the like basically some projects that Data Science Academy or like on as part of the college. So that works as well. And just in general for data engineering, strong SQL knowledge. Yeah, this is something we look at.
Oh, Karen asked, does any consultant eventually become permanent employee?
Can you repeat once again?
Yes. The audience want to know, are the consultant role a contract role or permanent employee role?
Permanent.
Okay. Another question from Yang is, are you based in New York City or Wood Cliff Lake?
So we have locations across US, New York, Irvine, Atlanta, and so on. There are so many locations, and you can actually get to pick any of the locations that you want.
I see. How much traveling is involved in the consulting role? Does that depend on the type of projects?
Yeah, it depends on type of projects. I mean, typically, I was told that up to like 80% of travel, but that typically doesn't happen. So I mean, sometimes if you work from the client side somewhere in a different city or state, you're supposed to travel, but typically things happen online.
I see. What can happen once the pandemic is end? Or do you expect the travel gonna go up very quickly?
Oh, that's a good question. we actually, it seems that we worked quite well with, like in this remote environment. Yeah, so that's that was the conclusion that that we can actually work remotely. And and I would say that as part of Lighthouse, you don't necessarily have to show up in the office every day. It's okay to work from home, and actually you can pick pretty much any location in US and just basically take a laptop and work from there. So like, for example, I live in Stamford and I commute to New York. And actually sometimes I work from Stamford location. So we have an office KPMG here. And sometimes I work from home. So that's before the pandemic. And now everything is remote. So yeah, that's a good question. Whether travel will resume, it's still under discussion.
I see. Okay, more question about the technical interview. So you mentioned like 3 rounds of technical interview and 2 rounds of technical interview. So how are they designed? Are they like 1 for Python, 1 for SQL, 1 for machine learning? What's the structure?
Oh, actually, we have just a kind of like a typical list of things that we'll look at. Like I typically, when I interview, I check some kind of like basic knowledge of Python, to be hands-on in Python. And also, ask some technical questions. Like if someone is strong in machine learning, I will ask about machine learning. So then there is like an open-ended question. You're given like a situation from client, like some project, and just an open-ended questions. How would you go about modeling this data? Yeah, so there is no strict kind of like guideline. Like you ask this, you ask that. It really depends on the role, and also like different interviewers will ask different questions. But in general, checking technical knowledge, checking how well you can explain the problem, and hands-on skills in coding.
Sound good. Ryan have a question. Given your strong financial domain knowledge prior to the NYC Data Science Academy, what will make you decide to go into consulting instead of going back to finance?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I worked on buy side for a hedge fund, and what I noticed that every year the hedge fund industry is shrinking. There are less opportunities. There is a stronger competition, and at some point it becomes kind of very risky. Like you don't want to bet your career long term on something that is not necessarily going to work well in future. Whereas machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, this is something that grows, right? And there is so much to learn here. So that was the reason why I switched.
I see. Actually, it's very common reason why we see so many finance background students here. We typically see 30% of our students are coming from hedge fund or trading side. I remember there was 1 year Wells Fargo closed a department, over 1,000 employees came out from that department, look for new employment opportunity.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there any other question before we're wrapping up today? Oh, okay, great. If not, let's mute our mic and give a big round of thank you to Peter today. Okay, please mute yourself.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
And we have a lot of alumni in today's session who are interested in the opportunity. So if you guys can email Courtney to indicate your interest in this role, we will send your resume and present to Peter.
Yeah.
Good? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Vivian, I apologize. I have another call that I need to jump on.
We're wrapping up. I can tell you're really busy. Messages just keep coming up on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, nice to see you again, Peter. Really appreciate your time and effort.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. It was nice to catch up.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good one.